to see you this week. This week, my mum and dad and my sisters all came to Newcastle. We spent a lot of time together and we went on a bushwalk. Do you like to go on bushwalks with your family? On the bushwalk that I went on, I picked up this super cool looking leaf. I really like going on bushwalks with my family. What do you like to do with your families? How about kids' church? Do you like doing kids' church with your families? I think we've got some photos of some of you doing kids' church right here. Let's take a look. There's Jonty, Sophia and Emily from Lake Mac. They look like they have some visitors. That looks like Theo and Jonty, also from Lake Mac. Isn't it great that we can have visitors now to do our crafts together and learn about Jesus together? Oh, and here is a Lego tower that they all made together. That's some awesome learning that you're doing. Why don't you show me what you've been learning? Ask your mum and dad to help you upload your pictures. I'd really like to see them. Now, I think we're going to hear from someone who's been at home but who's been really missing you all in your homes. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, I'm Josabelle. I'm one of the leaders at Little Buds Lake Mac. I've really missed hanging out with you guys and learning about Jesus together. I can't wait to see you guys hopefully soon. Bye!
Come and join us every Tuesday and we can all keep learning about Jesus together.
Hey, Rush TV's coming up this Friday.
Every week, 4:30, hope to see you there. Hey, I got it through the ring!
Would you like to read a story with me now? Let's have a look in the story box for this week. There's a little stuffed toy echidna. Have you ever seen an echidna in the wild? I've seen, a few. And this is a little baby echidna, it looks like. I wonder if we're going to meet an echidna in our story today. Would you like to have a read with me and find out? The story today is Echidnas on Everest by Andrew McDonough. This is an echidna. Echidnas come from Australia. They eat ants, lay eggs, we're not joking, it's true, are very, very spiky, and echidnas love mountain climbing. And the greatest of all mountaineers are Emma, Errol and Edith Echidna. This is their story. It begins at the base camp of Mount Everest. "Come on, team," yelled Errol as he ran across the glacier and charged up a tower of ice. "This is living," cried Emma as she leapt over a crevice. "Stop," said Edith. "We're not climbing some anthill. This is Mount Everest, the highest, greatest, most dangerous mountain in the world. If we're going to succeed, we must stick together." Over the glacier and up the ridge climbed the echidnas, when suddenly an icy cold snowstorm swept across the mountain. "We're going to freeze to death," shivered Emma. "You're on your own. I'm going alone," yelled Errol as he charged up the mountain. "Stop," said Edith. "If we're going to survive, we must stick together. Quick, into the little red tent." So the three echidnas scrambled out of the storm and into the little red tent. Now, you probably think the echidnas are snuggled up, drinking hot chocolate and singing camp songs. Let's look inside and see. "Ow! Ah! You almost killed me with your spikes," cried Emma. You spiked me first, yelled Errol. I'm out of here. Stop, said Edith. Of course we're spiking each other. We're echidnas. But if we're going to survive, we must stick together. So Errol, Edith and Emma got as comfortable as possible and drifted off to sleep. Ow! Snore. Ee! Snore. Ah! Snore. The next morning was perfect for climbing. Come on, team, yelled Errol as he shoveled snow off the tent. This is living, cried Emma as she gazed across the mountains. Stick together, said Edith. You never know, we may run into our Yeti. This is a Yeti. Yetis come from Nepal. They do not lay eggs, are soft and fluffy, and Yetis eat echidnas and anything else as long as it isn't red. Quick, yelled Edith, into the little red tent. You probably think the echidnas are sitting inside the tent, eating marshmallows and telling Yeti jokes like, why did the Yeti cross the road? Let's peek inside and see. Ow! Ee! Ah! You're spiking me to death, you spiky head. Well, I'm out of here, you spiky bum. Stop, 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 said Edith. Of course we've all got spiky heads and spiky bottoms. We're echidnas. But if we're going to survive, if we're going to climb Mount Everest, we must stick together. The next morning, the Yeti was gone. This is living, cried Emma as she swung onto the ledge. Come on, team, yelled Errol as he fed out more rope. Up, up climbed the echidnas until there, above the clouds, the summit of Mount Everest appeared. The clouds parted, and standing before them, just below the summit, was the great smooth cliff. Errol looked at Edith. Edith looked at Emma, and Emma looked at Errol. The great smooth cliff where no hand could hold, nor claw could cling. Ow! Said Emma as she leant against the cliff and Errol stood on her head. Ee! Said Errol as Edith climbed up onto his shoulders. Ah! Said Edith as she stretched towards the top of the great smooth cliff and grasped a tiny claw hold. We did it, team! Yelled Errol. This is living, cried Emma. We may be spiky, said Edith, but we stuck together. We are the echidnas on Everest. Oh, well, that was a nail-biter of a story. That's interesting because the echidnas, even though sometimes they fought with each other, they all really wanted to get to the very top of Mount Everest. So they were able to help each other to get there. Did you know that God also wants us to help each other? God wants us who all have the same goal of living for Him and of getting to heaven to help each other. So we can all work together like the echidnas and help each other reach our goal of living for God every day. How great is that news? Ginger Bear, what have you got for us to see in the telescope today? I think Ginger Bear told me earlier we're going to see, was it two? Yes, it was two brothers who went somewhere really special. Let's have a look, shall we, Ginger?
Hi HBC kids, I'm My name's William. And my name is James. This weekend we got to go to our grandparents' farm. Let's go for a tractor ride. And that tractor is a Case 440 horsepower tractor. Here they are spring digging before it's planted. And we're going to head them somewhere. Go like that. They pick at your hands. Whee! Now we go get some more wind. Seeing you back at church. Bye!
Hey everyone, I'm Bree. We're going to sing The Greatest Treasure. Will you join with me? The greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. The greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. It's the only treasure that will never fade. Even death can't take it away. Because the greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. Oh great, I can see you guys doing your actions with your diggers. That's great. Let's do it again. The greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. The greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. It's the only treasure that will never fade. Even death can't take it away. Because the greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. Oh, Ginger, did you know that sometimes you can live for happiness and live for stuff, but it's all going to fade away? You might feel that you don't have enough because it's all going to fade away. Even the trickiest toys that money can buy, it's all going to fade away. Let's sing that. You can live for happiness and live for stuff, but it's all going to fade away. You never ever feel like you've got enough, 'cause it's all going to fade away. The trickiest toys that money can buy, it's all going to fade away. Because the greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. Yeah, the greatest treasure in the whole wide world is peace with God. Wow, isn't that great? How do we get peace with God, Ginger? What was that? Yeah, through Jesus dying on the cross. Let's sing about that. He died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. For me, for you and me. One day when I was lost, He died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. For me, for you and me. Then what happened? Did they lay Him in the grave? Let's do that. They laid him in the grave. They laid him in the grave. They laid him in the grave. For me, for you and me. One day when I was lost, he died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. For me, for you and me. What was that, Ginger? He rose up from the dead? That's right. He rose up from the dead. He rose up from the dead. He rose up from the dead. For me, for you and me. One day when I was lost, he died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. For me, for you and me. Now this next part is he's coming back again. Now I want you guys to run towards the TV. Can you do that? He's coming back again and back. He's coming back again. Quick, run back. He's coming back again. For me, for you and me. One day when I was lost, he died upon the cross. He died upon the cross. For me, for you and me. Great singing, guys.
Well, I've loved learning with you today and singing with you too. Now, you can have a look at the next Kids Church lessons on the webpage. Make sure you send in your crafts. I really want to see what you're doing. Well, it's time to say goodbye now, but I will see you next week on Kids TV. Bye.